Hello and welcome. This is Moon of 16, so that's my Roblox username, but anyways, today we'll be doing something new. I was thinking I was going to do chapter reactions for Eragon. It is a book inside of the Inherited Cycle. This is the first book, so that's why I wanted to start. Eragon chapter reactions created by Wolf Stories. Alright, next we have Prologue, Shade of Fear. This is what we'll be going over. First, the setting, the second, Ergles, if I even said that right, the Shade, and the Elves. Oopsies. Now we have the setting. Okay, so we know that the event takes place in a forest at night that is possibly on a mountain, and I'm assuming this because the Shade climbed up a granite outcropping that's at least 20 feet high. They said that in the book. The setting is grim and packed with tension and action. So that was my first little reaction to that. Then you have the Ergles. Yes, very disgusting looking creatures. They do not seem to be human. They apparently have horns, brutish arms, small ears, gold eyes, and are heavily armed and smell like fetid meat. That is just how they are described in the book. They seem extremely scared of the Shiv, whose name we do not know at the time, and they do seem extremely eager to do his bidding. I mean, he did multiple times threaten them with death, so. And they seem relatively small, but this is just an inference. Next we have the Shade. He does not seem to be human or a breed of human. I'm basing this off of certain text in the book. He has red hair, like red hair, like orange hair, or red as in blood red hair. He seems to have maroon eyes, extended sight, as well as the ability to jump from heights. I'm assuming this from when he jumped on the outcropping from 20 feet above and landed so lightly. He has the ability to hiss. Like, is this like a cat or is this a figure of speech? He does not seem to have extended hearing, or at least not as extended as his sense of smell or his sense of sight. And this one is that he can shoot red lightning and fire from his palm, just by saying a few simple words. But he does not consider his companions, the Ergles, to be anything more than tools. So, I found that very interesting. Anyways, now we're going on to the Elves. This is just the best representation of how I found the elf lady online. It's not my own drawing. It's by someone else. You can kind of see their name up there in the corner. It's a little cut off. These elves seem to be aesthetically pleasing, or at least that's how the books portray them. They're all slim and narrow, yet powerful enough to wield a sword, spear, or bow. Since most of them carry bows, and since two of them are carrying a bow and a sword, and the other one's carrying a spear and I think a dagger. The elves seem to be good crafters based on the quote, a helm of great craftsmanship embroidered with emerald and gold. They ride white horses and move with quick speed, so they seem faster than most humans. There is one female elf that seems to lead the group, who, quote-unquote, surveying her surroundings with poise, and seems to have a, quote, driving force. She continuously looks at a pouch, which is later revealed to have a stone in the end of the prologue. So whatever is in the pouch either has some sentimental or monetary value. At the end of the day, this is both. or at least that's my assumption. And she does not seem to be concerned that her companions are dead. Now this is a little debatable. She did scream when she saw them and took one step towards them, but then she turned around and decided that her own safety was more important than her dead companions. And she had a magic, just like the Shade, and made the stone disappear. And this very much upset the Shade. And she gets kidnapped at the end of the prologue. So, that was just a little example for people who didn't read the prologue. Because I didn't really have a saying that said, oh, come and read this book because I'm going to do a chapter reaction on it. And I want you to hear my reactions, but I also want you to know what's going on. Anyways, so I think that the setting was described I think the setting had a lot of description in it. Everything was very descriptive. So, everything was very slow paced. Even when they got to the action, they were being very descriptive with it. They did kind of move the story along quickly, but there was very little dialogue, and you were mostly going from the Shade's point of view. You know that the Oracles are scared of the Shade, and that they all end up dying in the end, because they did not apparently move fast enough for the Shade. Because the elf, as I said, was able to make the stone disappear, which is apparently what our Shade wanted so badly. I think that this was overall a pretty good prologue. You don't really get enough information on the Urgles, the Shade, or even the elves. You don't get to know their names, and I'm kind of thinking that this is a little bit of foreshadowing for something else that's going to come up later in the story. So that leaves you with questions. This Shade, who is he? Why does he want this sapphire stone? And why did he kidnap the elf? Was she really not his target to begin with? Now we have the elves. This leaves you with the question of, why did she get kidnapped? And how can she make the stone disappear? Which leads you to this question of, how does this Shade, which does not seem to be human or a breed of human, shoot red lightning and fire from his palm? And this, I mean, it makes sense because this is a fantastical story about monsters, dragons, elves, dwarfs, and apparently this Shade. I don't know if he ends up playing a big part. Well, I do know, but I'm trying to keep it low-key. I kind of already read the entire book. I'm just rereading it again because now this is later in my life, and I kind of forgot a lot of what happened. And I thought it'd be fun to go over it again. So overall, I think this prologue was pretty good. By the way, these contain no spoilers. So if there's anyone who ends up reading the book, the only thing that gets spoiled is the chapter or chapters I'm going to be going over. So if you are reading the prologue, Shade of Fear, this is going to be very spoiler filled. You could probably guess, I'm just looking at these. Anyways. Next, I will be doing Eragon chapter reactions on the first, how do you say it? I'm screen darkening. I need to plug in my computer. Hold on. On the first 5 chapters of Eragon. Yes, the first 5 chapters. I did not include the first 5 chapters in the prologue because the prologue doesn't really have a lot to do with the next 5 chapters when I reread them. So hopefully I can get that PowerPoint done today and shown and get this uploaded as well. I hope that everyone has a nice day. Once again, I'll probably go much more in depth with my 5 chapter reaction. I'll probably be going chapter by chapter. Anyways, have a nice day everyone. Be safe. And don't get hurt. Have a nice day. I'll make sure to go over if you're interested, what everything wrong with Avatar. It's just to kind of help me get along. There's a newly started YouTube channel, and I was hoping that, I could get some help. Get a little bit of fame. Get at least a few subscribers, like 1 or 2. Just 1 or 2. Anyways, I just love looking at critical art, literature in a critical perspective. It's not that I hate Avatar, if you're thinking that that's why I did that video. It's not. Avatar is part of my childhood that I really enjoy. And it's something that I love it for what it is, but there were some things that needed fixing, and that could have been 10 times better. But anyways, this is the end of Eragon Chapter Reactions, Prologue, Shade of Fear. I will see you at the next Eragon Chapter Reactions video, or any other video that I decide to create next. Have a nice day.